The real reason you still haven't found purpose, there is a quiet frustration that lives beneath the surface of modern life. A feeling that doesn't scream but whispers. That doesn't break you all at once, but slowly erodes you over time. And it sounds something like this. I should know what I'm here for by now. You wake up, you move through your days, you do what is expected of you. Yet somewhere in the background there is this constant tension, this subtle weight on your chest, this sense that life is happening, but not through you, as if you are present, but not truly participating in your own existence. And the most painful part is not that you feel lost. It's that you don't understand why. Think about this for a moment. You have read the books, watched the videos, reflected on your past, imagined your future, yet purpose still feels distant, vague, unreachable, like something other people stumble upon effortlessly while you remain stuck in waiting. But here's what no one tells you. The reason you haven't found purpose is not because you are broken, behind, or incapable. It's because purpose does not appear where comfort lives. Viktor Frankl, who survived the horrors of concentration camps, observed something profound about the human condition. That meaning is not something we invent arbitrarily, nor something we passively discover, but something that demands something from us, something that calls us forward precisely through difficulty, responsibility, and suffering. Purpose does not ask, "What do you want from life?" It asks, "What does life demand from you now?" And that question is uncomfortable, because answering it requires honesty. Carl Jung believed that much of our anxiety and emptiness comes from living a life that is not aligned with the deeper self, the part of us that knows what we must become, but is often silenced by fear, conditioning, and social expectation. And so we drift. Not because we don't care, but because caring would require change. Now, ask yourself this. If purpose were easy to find, would it still be meaningful? Friedrich Nietzsche warned that a life without struggle, without self-overcoming, leads not to peace, but to nihilism, a quiet sense that nothing truly matters. And he argued that meaning is forged not through answers, but through the courage to endure the tension of becoming. But instead, we wait. We wait for clarity. We wait for confidence. We wait for certainty. Napoleon Hill called this state drifting living without a definite aim, postponing commitment until some imaginary future version of ourselves arrives, fully formed, fearless, and ready. But that version never comes. Because purpose does not precede action. Purpose follows it. Think about this carefully. What if the reason you haven't found purpose is because you re-asking the wrong question? Instead of asking, "What am I meant to do with my life?" A question so large it paralyzes. What if the real question is, what responsibility am I avoiding right now? Alan Watts often spoke about how the mind wants guarantees before it moves, yet life offers none. And he reminded us that the desire for certainty is often a disguised fear of commitment. When you refuse to choose, you also refuse to become, and without becoming, purpose cannot emerge. Carl Jung described the process of individuation, the lifelong integration of unconscious aspects of the self into conscious life, and he noted that many people feel lost not because they lack direction, but because they refuse to face parts of themselves they've been taught to reject. Their anger, their ambition, their sensitivity, their intensity, their desire to stand out. Purpose is not polite. It does not always align with who you think you should be. Sometimes it threatens your current identity, and that is why it feels distant. Now think about this. What if your confusion is not a sign of failure, but a sign that you are standing at the edge of responsibility? Viktor Frankl believed that suffering becomes unbearable only when it lacks meaning, and that meaning emerges when we take responsibility for our response to life, even when circumstances are unfair, unclear, or painful. Purpose is not found in comfort zones. It is forged where resistance meets courage. And here is the paradox. The more you wait to feel purposeful before acting, the longer you will feel empty. But the moment you commit to something meaningful, not glamorous, not perfect, but meaningful, something begins to shift. Napoleon Hill emphasized that definiteness of purpose is not about knowing the final destination, but about choosing a direction and disciplining the mind to move toward it consistently. Purpose grows after commitment, not before. not before. Friedrich Nietzsche spoke of becoming who you are, but he never implied that who you are is already known to you. You discover yourself through action, through friction, through failure, through responsibility. Alan Watts would say that life is not a puzzle to be solved, but a dance to be participated in. And that meaning arises not from watching, but from moving. So, let me ask you something honestly. What are you postponing until you figure things out? What calling keeps returning in quiet moments, yet is pushed aside because it feels risky, demanding, or uncertain? Carl Jung warned that what we resist most often becomes our fate, not as punishment, but as invitation. The thing you keep avoiding may not be your problem. It may be your purpose. And here is the part that changes everything. Purpose does not arrive as a lightning bolt. It arrives as a burden you choose to carry, a responsibility you accept, a direction you commit to despite fear. Viktor Frankl said that when a person knows their why, they can endure almost any how. But he also knew that the why is often revealed after one steps into responsibility, not before. So, stop waiting to feel inspired. Stop waiting to feel certain. Stop waiting to feel ready. Purpose is not a feeling. It is a relationship, one built through repeated action, honest effort, and and slowly, quietly, something changes. Your days gain weight. Your struggles gain meaning. Your suffering gains direction. And the emptiness that once haunted you begins to transform into something steadier, deeper, more alive. Carl Jung believed the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are, but he also knew that this path demands courage, patience, and a willingness to walk forward without guarantees. And perhaps this is the real reason you haven't found purpose yet. Not because it is absent, but because it is asking more of you than you've been willing to give. So don't search for it. Respond to Italiano. Take responsibility. Choose a direction, carry a burden that matters, and let purpose reveal itself along the way. If this message spoke to you, subscribe to Becoming You and keep growing with us. And if you watched until the end, comment the word responsibility below and share what this stirred within you.